What's good, Raider Nation? The Spicy Shield Talk. We back, season 3. Let's go. What's good, Raider Nation? Spicy Raider Girl here with my boy Chris. We back in the building, and we are only a few days out from this season starting. Who's excited?
Man, I know I am. Shout out to you, Spice, man. I'm glad we actually get to share a screen again, man. It's been too
I know,
long.
right? I've missed you. It's been too long. It's been a long
All
off
right.
season. A lot of things have transpired over the off season. We've finally named a quarterback. We're ready to play a division rival against your favorite coach in the world, of course, in Harbaugh. We're going to talk a little bit about that before we get into it, though. You all know what to do. Light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. You can also become a member if you're playing along with us tonight. The drinking game alert is AFC rival. So, salute to you, whoever's playing. If you don't drink, y'all already know what to do. So, Chris, let's just get right into it. We got a lot to talk about here. I want to start with this. How important is this week 1 matchup against the Raiders and the Chargers, right? Because look at this. We're in a new era here, 2 new coaches. Jim Harbaugh, of course, with the Chargers. Antonio Pierce, his first full season as the head coach without the interim tag, going into SoFi, which is arguably the Raiders' one and only home game of the entire season. What I mean by that is where the crowd in Raiders fans will outnumber the crowd of the opposing team's fans. In a tough, stacked AFC division. How important is this game week 1 over there in LA?
Huge. It's to me, it's a must win. It's a must win because at the end of the day, we know. I mean, we can't look ahead, but that Baltimore game is going to be super hard. Baltimore stacked. This Chargers team is not. I don't care what the media is going to try to tell us, that this team is not good. You know, they were decent last year, but they lost their top 2 receivers. They lost their running back. You know, they lost their tight end. I mean, they lost a lot of good guys. I mean, they're going to be a shell of what they were. Plus, Justin Herbert is not 100%. He hasn't been practicing. Again, he's learning a new system. There's no reason we should lose to them. You know, Bosa is kind of nicked up a little bit. When is he not? Khalil Mack. Now I am worried about him because he always has big games against us. But
yeah, what do you have last year? Was it 6 sacks?
Yeah, like 6 sacks. He went crazy.
Crazy.
He went crazy. So yeah, it's huge because if we lose that first game and then have that tough game in Baltimore, we're sitting at 0-2. A lot of Raider Nation is going to be looking sideways, like, okay, we need to make a move.
No, I agree with you. I think this is and chat. What's up to the chat? We're gonna get to you in a minute. Say hello to everyone. What's up? But really quickly, just want to acknowledge you. Let us know what you would think on this week 1. I think maybe arguably this is the most important game of the season because you got to come out with a win. You got to come out hot for momentum. Yep. Also, like you said, then you have to fly across the country to East Coast, where the Raiders are known to not do well with that sort of schedule. Play a really good team in the Ravens. I think they're a really good team. I know some people say they're not as good as some may think, but hey, when you're putting up 13 wins, I think that's a good team. And I know one year to the next is not always the same. I get that, but that's going to be huge because that's going to be a tough game. You certainly don't want to go into week 3 home opener against the Carolina team, which the Raiders should destroy. Let's hope that happens. But even with that said, you don't want to go into that game potentially 0-2.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
anything, you want to go in 1-1. And I think if we're looking at the Chargers and we're looking at the Ravens, if we're going to split the difference, the odds are better against the Chargers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, honestly, we have to show that how we ended the season, you know, all the cigar smoking, all that's just not a fluke, you know, because a lot of the NFL wants to believe that. Actually, a lot of Raider fans are like, you know, because a lot of Raider fans wanted Harbaugh. So, A lot of them think that AP may be just kind of all bark but fluff.
Yeah.
I think this is a chance for him to really make that statement game. I mean, the team was behind him. I mean, Max, kind of did like a light threat, like, "Hey, we need AP, or I'm gonna look at other options." So, a lot of these guys really stuck their neck out. So I think they're gonna, and plus they're pissed off. A
Yeah.
lot of pundits saying that we're gonna win less than 6 games and all this. So they hear that stuff. So, I think it's
Yeah, I think
we're,
Vegas
we're gonna
odds
see a
have them
fired
at
up crowd.
7 as of right now. Vegas odds have them at
Yeah,
7, which is pretty low.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So we just have a lot to prove. 'Cause I think AP wants to prove that he was the right guy for the job because
And
again, a
he
lot
has
of
to
Raider
prove it,
Nation
right? Because
has to.
I'll be the first one to say it here in our season premiere. I was excited to see AP join the team just because I like the swag, I like the style, I like the direction. Okay, I'm over that now. Enough of the hoorah. I think the jury's out for him now. Now that's fine. You're from Compton, you smoke cigars, cool, whatever. We want wins, and so the jury's out for me. I'm not saying it was
Yeah,
the wrong choice, it was a bad choice, or it should be another choice, but that was last year. This is this season. This season, we need wins.
yeah. No, I mean the honeymoon phase is over. I was a main one. Doing backflips for AP, really wanting him. So at the end of the day, I wanted Gruden the second time around too, but
Hmm.
all the rah-rah, it goes so far, it gets us excited, gets us pumped up. I think the fan base is gonna be fired up. From what I hear, like those open practices that they had at the stadium was very lit, and the team was, happy about it. So I think we're as energized as we could be for week one. So we just have to live up to it.
Yeah, and listen, we've got two head coaches, first year head coaches on both ends, right? There's probably more there's certainly more film on what Antonio Pierce does as a head coach with the Raiders, because there's nothing on Jim Harbaugh. There's nothing yet. You could potentially look back on what he did at Michigan, on what he did with other NFL franchises, but there's not a lot to look at as with him as a Chargers coach, right? I don't think they didn't play any like their full starting team in any of the preseason. So it's a little bit of a wild card. We don't really know how he's going to come out, what the coaching scheme is going to be, all of those types of things. So I think adjustments are going to be huge. Under AP, we haven't seen if he's able to adjust or not, or at least I haven't seen or noticed. I know in the past, I certainly didn't think Gruden was very good at adjusting. We know McDaniels was terrible at that. I don't think he never made adjustments from what I could tell. So I think it's going to be AP's moment to see what Harbaugh does, come out with the game plan, but see what Harbaugh does, because there's nothing really to go off at this moment, and then see if he can. Hope maybe he won't have to make adjustments. Maybe they'll just come out doing their thing. But if he has to make adjustments, he's gonna have to be able to do that. So week one is gonna be is always kind of a crapshoot. New teams, a lot of times, new playbooks, new
Yeah.
schemes, all of that. So
Yeah. No, you're 1,000% correct. I think the only thing I will say is, as far as AP goes, yeah, there's film on him per se, but he's not a play caller. We have a completely different play caller than what was there last year. So you really can't look at tendencies of last year and be like, that's what an AP ran offense is going to look like, because it's not going to look
mhm.
nothing like that. Um, I think with AP, he's more or less setting the standard, setting the tempo of the team. He's more of like a Mike Tomlin type of guy. But as far as the X's and O's guys, so those are going to go from Patrick Graham on defense
Yep.
and Getsy on offense. Now there is film on Getsy, but even if you look at the Getsy film, um, he had Justin Fields, a whole different quarterback, whole different style of
Mhm.
quarterback. Um, to be honest, as crazy as it sounds, if you really want to kind of get an idea of what Getsy may do, you probably got to go all the way back to the Packers time when they had Aaron Rodgers, when he opened up the offense and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I really think we're gonna shock some people. I know we'll talk about Harbaugh later, but he's a fraud, man. He's a fraud.
Yeah, I definitely, you have a lot more opinion on that than I do, being a Michigan fan. Of course, I'm not a Michigan fan. I'm a USC fan. I just want to say fight on to my guys that took that game out of Legion Stadium the other day.
That
That
was
was an epic
crazy.
win. That was an epic
That was.
game. I was honored to be able to be there to see that live and in person. I digressed a little bit, but I just had to give my boys they props. So fight on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's say
no,
what's up to the chat real quick. Raider Travis, what's good? Always representing, yelling Raiders. Mother Moon in the building. Desmond
boom.
Wells, what's good? Billy Davis, thank you for joining us. If you're not subscribed to both channels, please do. Malo231, John Hayes, loving this, praying always go Raiders, and thank you all, go Raiders. I believe Raiders, that's right. Sacktown in the building. Raider Mike, what's up? PTS and chat. Hey, you from Sacktown, you nearby. You gonna be in LA? If you're gonna be in LA, say what's up. Jaw Raider, Chokers will not have DJ Clark. His hip injury, he will miss week 1. We're gonna go into injury reports and who's playing and who's not playing and who's back on on the field for both teams. But thank you for bringing that up. We appreciate you. Who else? Did I miss anybody else in here? Puzzle 4422. What up? Protect the shield. Mama tried Raiders. Minshew was 1-1 versus the Ravens. 1-0. Not that it really matters either way. Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, it made me give him some confidence. But yeah, at this point, it doesn't really matter, right? The records at this point, the teams are all so different. My guy from the 408, Al Chingon in the building, in the house. That's right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Remember, like that torque, hit that like button. But yeah, what do you want to go into next, Chris?
You know what? I mean, I just got to get off my chest. Everyone keeps talking about this Jim Harbaugh stuff. I'm sorry. I know I kind of brought it up before, but Jim Harbaugh is not going to make a smooth transition. I mean, not only him, but even his defensive coordinator that came straight from college. It's a different game. I mean, at the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh, for one, Michigan was an ultimate failure besides when he started stealing signs. And that's just a fact. Before he started stealing signs, he was 0-5 against Ohio State. He had a losing record in the bowl games. He was, I think, a losing record against Michigan State, which is his other rival. He got 62 points put up on him. He lost play calling duties where he had to step down from calling plays. Michigan actually took money from him, deducted his pay because they probably was going to fire him, but they ended up giving him a pay cut. Then suddenly, COVID happened. We ducked Ohio State because if we play Ohio State the COVID year, we would have went 0-6 against Ohio State, and he would have surely got fired. But he didn't play Ohio State that year. Sign stealing starts in 2020. The next 3 years, we suddenly are good. We win the Big Ten, and we end up winning everything. It's clear in the NFL, you're not going to be able to get the upper hand. You're not going to be able to steal signs because all calls are coming straight to the helmet for the guys who wear the green dot on their helmet. Jim Harbaugh is not it, man. I watch him. He's like, you guys think Gruden was very conservative. Harbaugh is going to be doing fullback dives. He's going to try the same old runs. He's going to try to pound it down our throats. Max Crosby's not going to have it. Christian Wilkins not going to have it. Kuntz is not going to have it. As soon as he figured out he cannot, he's going to have Justin Herbert, which is a good quarterback. I would say borderline great, but he has no one to throw it to because they got rid of all their good receivers. Keenan Allen's going. Michael Williams is going. And they picked up DJ Chark in the offseason. He's injured. They lost their tight end. They lost their star running back. They all are learning a new offense. Justin Herbert hasn't been able to practice. Guys, I'm telling you, if I am so sure about this game. I'm so sure because I understand Harbaugh. I understand what he's going to try to do. It's not going to work. He's going to try to talk to these kids like he was talking to them in Michigan. Those kids in Michigan, their dream was to play on Sundays. So they're going to listen. They're going to eat all that stuff up. But these pros that make millions of dollars, they're not going to be able to take a guy that literally is caught on camera eating his boogers. They're not going to take him seriously. I'm just saying, they're not going to take him seriously, man. So I'm saying Jim Harbaugh
Have
is
you watched
a
the
fraud.
Untold? Have you watched the Untold on Harbaugh?
All the Untold about the sign stealing on Netflix.
Yeah, it just came out like a few days ago.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yep,
called like
I
sign
did.
stealing or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely saw that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it's interesting. I digress a little bit about the Harbaugh thing, and we'll get back to the game. But I think it's interesting the fact that he decided to leave college football and go into the NFL.
He had to.
He knew because he knew this was coming. Right? Exactly. He had to. He could never go back to college football again.
Ever.
Like, who's going to hire a coach that's immediately suspended? Nobody.
And my thing is like, if anything, like you call, like he tried to act like, because it's either you are incompetent and you don't know what's going on in your building because you're the leader of that building, or you knew and you just are acting like you didn't know. So it's one of the two. So if you're a leader like you say you are, why don't you know what's going on in your building?
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
remind us to get to this later. I'm not sure if this was in our items of discussion. I think this is going to be named in a couple days, if not tomorrow. Who will be wearing the green dot?
Yeah, it's a good question for the captains. I don't think they named them yet. If I had,
they haven't named them yet. I would imagine they're going to do it tomorrow, Friday. I'll see the latest.
I see that. If I had to guess, I would definitely say Max
for sure.
Spillane, probably Epps. I think he liked Epps. I think Epps was one last year, if I remember correct. Daniel Carlson. Offense, I think Davante was one. I don't know if he have Gardner. He should have Gardner, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna have Gardner.
I mean, the quarterback's almost a given. It'd be interesting if he's not, right?
Yeah, but the only thing is, it's like with him being in such that close quarterback battle, like I don't know, like you don't want to have your quarterback be a captain and then
and then he gets benched week 3.
So I don't know. I mean, but you're right. In theory, he should be the captain, but we'll see.
For sure. Max is a given. That's a given. But look at let's talk about some of these players, right? Because you talked about Spillane, and Spillane's a beast. I low key fell in love with Spillane's play and attitude on that field last season.
Right. Yeah.
I think they need to sign that man. I think they need to keep him. I think they need to pay him, not only because of his performance. His performance to me was outstanding, but also he is the type of player that the Raiders need on the team and on the defense to keep that energy, that adrenaline, that bite, that punch him in the mouth type of vibe going. I'm a little concerned though that the Raiders are going to try to play a little conservative, teeter-totter a little bit, because we've got people coming up like Tommy Eichenberg, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And they probably think he can do just as good a job. And I don't like that narrative. I think if a guy shows up for you, shows out for you. No disrespect to Eichenberg, but I mean, to me, Spillane's already proven himself. You give that man the money, you give him the confidence to continue to succeed and be a leader of the defense.
Yeah,
one of the leaders of the defense, I should say. Not taking anything away from Mad Max and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Max will tell you that Spillane's a leader out there. I mean, that middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker, is a quarterback of the defense. So, no, he's definitely a leader, I think. But you're right. It's a business, and I think a lot of us fans fail to realize that. And I have to always get reminded of it. And the Josh Jacobs thing was something that it was an eye opener. Well, not an eye opener. I understood it, but I didn't like it. But the thing with middle linebacker, they don't cost that much, so it's not going to break the bank if we make sure we pay him. So I'm not too concerned if he plays well, and if we want to sign him, I don't think it'll be a problem. I think he wants to be a Raider. If we don't sign him by chance, it might be because of his age. Maybe they might have some concerns about that, but people fail to realize, like, as much as you love Spillane, he played lights out last year. But that was his first year in the system.
Right.
people usually get better in year 2. He
Right.
might take that next step where he's playing, Pro Bowl level. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, he has the talent, he has the toughness, so we'll see.
Most definitely. Remember, if you're playing along with us, the drinking game alert tonight is AFC rivalry. So let's talk a little bit about who will be playing in this AFC rivalry game. And by that, I mean there has been some Raiders players that have been sitting out. Of course, I think the two notable ones are the rookies in Brock Bowers and JPJ. Looks like Brock Bowers is going to be ready. He's practicing. He's going to be practicing. He's cleared to play. He's going to be ready to be in that game. JPJ, on the other hand, probably will be sitting out, not playing. Now, I kind of think both of these storylines they're definitely very different. I'll talk on Brock. You can talk on your boy JPJ because I know you had a baby crush on him since the draft.
That's my
But I
dog.
just think it's interesting that the way they're kind of like handling with care with this Brock Bowers. Not in a bad way. This is not a negative comment. It's actually there's a lot of insight, I think, to how they're treating it, because they're treating him like a Mad Max. They're treating him like a Davante Adams. They're treating him like somebody who doesn't need to play in preseason games or practice to be ready to be on the field to excel. And I think that's actually a huge tell to what the Raiders think he can do and what he will do week 1 on Sunday.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think, everything you hear about the guy, he's a workhorse. He's a student of the game. And even AP said, like, sometimes we got to protect the players from themselves. So it sounds like he could
Right.
practice. He wants to probably get out there, but the coach is like, hey, right now is not the time. Because honestly, I think he's going to be a big part of this offense. I think he's going to
For
be
sure.
that matchup nightmare. They're going to move him all over the place. I mean, most teams didn't really show too much in the preseason, but the little bit that we saw Brock Bowers in the preseason, he lined up everywhere. And I was surprised they even showed that. But we saw him in the backfield. We saw him at tight end. We saw him split out. We saw him in the slot. I'm surprised they even showed that. If I was them, I would have just showed him at tight end and called it a day. But we know that he's going to be all over the field, so he's going to be a big piece of this.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I want to shout this comment out. This is awesome. Congrats to you, Anthony Estrada. Yo, salute to my guy, Protect the Shield podcast, Chris and Spicy. Raider Girl got the tickets Friday, my first ever game. Can't wait to see you, sis, and Chris. Can't wait to meet you all, and Leo and the nation.
Pink lot, Anthony. Pink lot, man. Come see us. We having a big tailgate, man. Let's get a picture. Let's get some drinks, man. And let's have a good time.
That's awesome. Congrats to you. I'm happy you're going to make it out to your first game. That's going to be exciting. And honestly, like what a great first game to choose. This one's going to be lit.
Yeah.
This one will it's interesting the way the schedule came out, right? Because you have the home opener in week 3. But really, if you ask me, this is the real home opener. I mean, this is the one game where the Raiders fans are going to actually, in my opinion, from what I've seen in the past, and I'll predict this, the Raiders fans will outweigh the opposing team's fans. And this might be the one and only game that happens. So this will be a fun one. You chose a good one. Just like Big Daddy said, what's good? It's a home game for us. That's right. For 3 hours, it will have that Oaktown vibe all over again. And shout out to LA too, because it's gonna have maybe some people disagree with me, but I think the Oakland vibe and the LA vibe are very similar. There's a lot of traditions that cross there. I know they're a little. If you're really from LA, you're really from Oakland, I know you're gonna nitpick the little things that are different, but for sure, the two definitely cross in vibe and experience. So yes, that's right, Mama. Tried Raider. Brock practiced today and was going 110. That's right. He's going to be there. He's going to be ready. Huey, what's good? Huey P. JPJ starting week 3 at home. Raider 97. Man, Tommy went crazy at practice. He looked pissed off and didn't skip a beat, dude. Look mean as F.
Okay, Tommy. Okay.
We like it. We like it. All right, what do we want to get into next, my friend?
Well, I think, one thing I kind of want to talk about is, what are some concerns that we may have going into the game?
Besides the obvious?
Yeah, yeah. Besides that, actually, before we do that, I'm gonna talk a little bit about JPJ because I know you talked about
Yeah.
Brock. So with JPJ, of course, I'm still super excited about him because I've always said our offensive line, as of right now, we don't have no real dog out there. Like we don't have no Richie Incognito or
Yep.
Donald Penn or just some of those Steven Znuski and like a guy that's just mean, nasty. We don't have that right now. So he's the only one that is going to probably eventually be that. As good as Colton is, Colton's a quiet guy. He's a technician, but we need a dog, a pit bull, and he's going to be that. And I'm okay with them taking their time with him, making sure he's ready. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to put him out there too soon where he, um,
Fair enough.
you know, yeah, is always injured. But because the way he plays the game violently. So when you let the pit bull out, make sure he's ready to go, and you really can let him loose. But I think once he's out there, I think we'll see a difference because we're gonna see a guy that if someone hits our quarterback late, he's gonna be in their face. Like he's gonna be the protector. He's gonna be the enforcer. So we just gotta be patient with him. I love everything about him. So I think we'll be fine.
All right. Fair enough. I echo everything you say. I'm excited to see him ready to and to do some damage out there on the field. I think from what I've heard him say anyway, he's subscribed to the Raiders mentality and what the directions the Raiders are going. So I'm excited for that. I think he's full on and he's on board. Rambo adventures concerns. They're going to pound the line with run heavy offense, and they have a 300+ pound fullback to lead the way. Yeah, that's true. That's fullbacks are kind of like fading out anymore. I mean, there's only really a few teams that use them these days.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
what do you think of this? Because this is a good point, but
That's a great
I
point.
think I think you shut it down right away. If you can get Max and Wilkins and these big guys to come in there and shut that down right away, they're not going to keep going after that.
Yeah.
Um, Now the concern, right? If it actually works early on, they're going to go 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 go. And that's going to tire out the defense, and the defense is going to be on the field too long. So I think the key to this concern is the Raiders need to shut this down quick, fast.
Yeah. No, you're 1,000% correct. I think um with Harbaugh's offense, that's a great point. They got the big fullback, and Harbaugh loves his fullbacks. I mean, he's kind of like Gruden. You see, once Gruden left, we got rid of our big fullback. Well, we had Jakob last year, so we had a fullback, but Gruden was the main one that really wanted to bring a fullback back. Harbaugh, he's going to run the ball with the fullback. Like he's all about that ground and pound. He's going to run the ball until you prove you can stop it. So we saw some concerns in preseason, but again, those wasn't our starters. But Max, because honestly, if you run on a team, that's a mentality. That's almost like you're
Yeah.
bullying somebody. Max is not going to
Mm-hmm.
put up with that. Wilkins is not going to put up with that. Kuntz is not going to put up with that. Big John Jenkins is not going to put up with that. Spillane's not going to put up with that. So they're going to stop those guys. And not only that, they don't have no receivers. So we can go
Right.
man up on the outside. We don't have to do no exotic coverages because
That's
they
true. They're
got
going to be
Keenan
heavily
Allen.
relying on this. That's true. They're going to
Yeah,
be heavily relying on this, and if you shut it down or shut it down early, they really have
they're in
no other
trouble.
option to go to, and that's going to
Exactly.
deflate them.
Exactly. Once you make a team one dimensional, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And that's why I really hope that Zamir White can really get it going because if he can run the ball and get some pressure off of Davante and Bowers and Jacoby, we could be unstoppable if all this comes together. 'Cause we got all the weapons. So I'm telling you guys, as long as like Rambo said, as long as we don't let their run heavy offense just pound us and just pure dominate us, we're
Yeah.
good, man. We're good.
Like Big Daddy says right here, another concern, like and you brought up Zamir White, contain Mac and Bosa coming from the edges. Yeah, that's going to be huge too. Let's see if the Raiders can get their running game going. Let's see what they can do. And I mean, people people have concerns about Mac and or seem I shouldn't say concerns. I feel like people seem to disregard them a little bit. That is a concern, though. I think these are two great players,
Oh yeah,
regardless of the season that they're
yeah.
in. I know Mac is, he's a seasoned vet, and Joe and Bosa's always nicked up, but I still don't. Let's not take these guys lightly.
Oh no, they're beasts. I mean, honestly, especially because we caught them in week 1. Now, about week 3 and 4, they'll both probably be hurt or injured or whatever. So, but for the most part, you're getting a fresh Bosa, a fresh Mac. Um, and I know someone with Rainbow said his other concern, Mac against Mumford. That's scary. That is scary. Um, I don't remember who Mac kept killing last year. I don't know if it was like Illuminor or if it was Mumford at that time. I can't remember, but Mac Mac went crazy on whoever that the end was. So our tackle. So um, but the one thing about Getsy and actually one thing about AP, he's not going to let one guy beat us. So if they got a double team, triple team Mac, they're going to do it. So um, I don't know. It'll be interesting, but that's definitely a concern. I definitely respect anyone that says that's a concern.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, if you look at the predictions, most of the predictors, whether their opinion means anything or not, do have the Raiders losing. Of course, the Raiders are 3-point underdogs, but like you always say, Chris, that's because they're deeming that the Chargers are at home. So basically, it can go. Basically, what's saying is
Yeah,
the
good
prediction
point.
is it could go either way. They're giving the Chargers the home field advantage because it's in SoFi. To me, that's a wash on the home field advantage there. So, I mean, it's a toss up. I mean, to me, I think this is a toss up. Like, I'd love to sit here and say the Raiders we're going to show up, we're going to black out SoFi. The Raiders are going to come out a beast and everything's going to be great and we're going to take home a victory. I'm not that confident. I'm a realist and I know this can go either way. So the concerns are real, but also we have to look at what the Raiders can do. And I think the defense is going to be key to this victory because my main concern, I think everyone's probably main concern is going to be how the offense will perform, right? I mean, the Raiders are going to have to attempt through this rather really debaucherous quarterback situation that we're in, and that's going to be an issue and a concern throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
We're gonna rely. We hope the running game gets going. We hope our two, maybe if they run a 2 tight end set and our new rookie Brock Bowers balls out, and we hope that Minshew has the accuracy and arm strength to get that ball to Davante. But to me, those are all question marks. What's not a question mark to me is how I think the defense is going to perform. And so I think
Yeah.
the defense is going to be a huge, huge key to victory this Sunday.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I can see how people got concerns about it. Like I said, I just think just my I'm just not convinced about Harbaugh. He's had some success in the NFL before. I think this is a different situation. He's not walking into a whole bunch of um beasts. Well, I mean, he has some beasts on defense, but he don't have like a Patrick Willis that's a future Hall of Famer or anything like that. That's in his prime. I know Khalil Mack is good, but he's it's just different. I and plus he has a lot on his mind. Like even if you listen to his press conferences now, he's still answering questions about the NCAA. I mean,
Right.
that's probably stressing him out too. Because he really got. I mean, no matter what people say, he kind of got forced out of college.
Right.
He may have wanted to stay, but he backed himself into a corner. But no, but you're right though. The
I think you can
quarterback
actually take
situation.
the kind of out of that statement.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the
And actually,
quarterback
just want to
situation.
change the verbiage a little bit. Like, got forced out makes it seem like he wasn't wanted or something. Like, he got himself kicked out, rightfully
He
so.
did. And I'm telling you, as a lifelong Michigan guy, um, 2020, I wanted him out of there so bad. I did not want him back. Um, but at the end of the day, he cheated. He cheated his way into getting us a national championship. I'm gonna take it just so I can make fun of all my OSU fans. But what I'm hearing is they're trying to take that away from us. So because of Harbaugh and his cheating, we might have to vacate that trophy. So then I'm gonna really be pissed off. But yeah, but kind of going back to the quarterback though, I think the key is keeping Gardner in a position where he can stay balanced. Gardner can't be throwing the ball 40 times a game. He can't be a gunslinger. We got to be able to just, run the ball, do play, look at Brock Bowers in the middle, hit Trey Tucker when the safeties cheat up. I mean, we just got to have a good game plan. Just, we can't expect Gardner to put the game on his back. And honestly, that's what he had to do at other places. And that's when he got himself in trouble. Sometimes he would put his cape on and do well. And then sometimes, he would be the Gardner that we all know where he may try to sneak a ball in and get interception. But, as much as people want to hate on Gardner, as long as he stays within the offense and not try to do too much and be a hero, he can play quarterback pretty well.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't really want to get into the quarterback talk too much because I feel like we're finally in the season. We talked about that a lot, but I mean, are people really hating on Garner or just disappointed in the quarterback options in general? For me, it's more that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of people didn't want. They didn't get their guy. A lot of people wanted AOC. A lot of people wanted us to trade up and get a quarterback. So I just think a lot of people just aren't happy with, what we did at the quarterback position. So, but here we are. We gotta roll with it. We're all Raider fans. We've seen a lot worse. Trust me, guys. We've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, but at this point, I think we can't hate on anybody. This is our team. This is our quarterback. We got to get in there. We got to win. I think the key to being a good fan base is not to sit in the stands and say, listen, I was right. It should have been AOC. Or I even see some people saying I missed Derek Carr and all that kind of nonsense. Like, that's a thing of the past. What we got to do right now is just root for the guy that they chose, the guy that we have, and hope we can get some wins.
Yeah, that's all we can do, man. That's. And I really hope it doesn't get to that point where it's "I told you so" type of thing. I got a feeling it's going to become that.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see though.
Like I said, it's going to be important this week 1. Again, the AFC rivalry. If you're playing along with us, that's a drinking game. This AFC rivalry week 1 game, I think, is the most important game of the entire season. This is going to set the tone for the entire season. Just for the locker room, just for the fan base, obviously for the standings and all of that. This is gonna be a big one. If you're gonna be in the LA area, show up, show out, black it out. You already know what to do. Let's talk a little bit about let's read some comments and then we'll segue into the Davante Adams the ongoing Davante Adams controversy that just will not go away.
I can't believe me and you used to laugh like last year. Like, can you believe people are still talking about it? And I can't believe we're starting this premiere.
It's crazy that it's still an issue. It honestly is. Well, we'll talk about it. It's somewhat of a headline. Honestly, if Davante didn't respond to it, I probably wouldn't even be down to talk about it. But since he responded to it, we're going to get into it. But let's get to some comments here. Let's see. Joka CTV. Garner beat the Oakland Raiders and the Vegas Raiders. Can't wait to root for him and just win, baby. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So just for people that don't know, Gardner Minshew was the starting quarterback as a Jacksonville Jaguar 2019. Fortunately, he beat the Raiders in Oakland, very last game in Oakland, put a damper on that whole parade. And then, of course, we know about the little ass boy game where Garner beat the Raiders in Indy. So, hey, come on, man. Do us a solid. You owe us. How's that? You owe us, homie. Come on. If for nothing else, do it for that reason. Big Daddy says you don't cheat in college and win your return to NFL opener. It's called silver and black karma. Let's hope you are right. Jaw Raider 97. Test your luck. Go to Vegas and put your money down on this 3-0. See what you might win. It might be a big number because I certainly know the odds aren't that. QB Interception average in the NFL
Love
is
this
like
comment. Love this
2.4.
comment.
Mahomes and Brady at 1.8. Minshew at 1.7. Some
Love this
say he
comment.
throws consistent interceptions. Simply isn't true. I actually do want to respond to this because I don't think he throws consistent interceptions. However, he consistently throws it to nobody. Meaning, I don't think his accuracy is there. Maybe it'll be different in the regular season. Preseason's preseason for a reason. I have to admit, I didn't watch a lot of his career when he didn't play for the Raiders, so I only know what I know from preseason, and we can debate all day if that matters or not. But from what I saw from him, the accuracy wasn't there. So he certainly wasn't getting interceptions, but he wasn't throwing it anywhere near anybody that can catch it on either team. That was my take on him.
I like that comment. Real quick, so I'll go back to that one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is true. I mean, I think the narrative is Gardner is just a guy that just throws all these interceptions. I mean, his ratio is not as bad as what people say, and I love that he put this up there. He doesn't turn the ball over like people want to say he does. I think that you're right. His completion rating is not always the best. That's for sure. But again, I think another thing that people don't realize, he takes more shots down the field than a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, he does what we wish Jimmy G did. Because remember Jimmy G or even Carr, like there was so many times that like he wouldn't even go downfield. He wouldn't even try to stretch the field. One thing about Gardner, he's going to test those safeties and those DBs. Like, hey, you guys can cheat up if you want. I'm going to keep you guys honest, and I'm going to take shots down the field. And there may be some issues, but I'm all for it, man. Like I'd rather have a quarterback like that than someone that's just going to dink and dunk 2-yard passes all day and then we punt it. So I'll rather my quarterback take a chance. So I'm with that.
All right, fair enough. I just want first downs, however you get them.
Exactly.
Let's see. Who else we got here? Let's get into some of these comments. Unfazed, what's good? I've seen kids end 300-pound guys if the hitting is decent. Harbaugh just playing games right now. You got a comment on that? I like to pull up these Harbaugh comments just for you, Chris.
Oh yeah, no, I agree that they're talking about their big fullback they got. Again, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't matter, man. I mean, Harbaugh is just he's a fraud. That's all there is to it, and it will be proven this year. It will be proven. His defensive coordinator is just a guy that he had in college. He blitzes a lot. He doesn't have. He's not a guy that's going to try to be too exotic. He's not a guy that's going to trick us. He's going to just try to be in our face and blitz us. There's a lot of ways to beat the teams that do that. So as long as our line holds up and as long as Getsy calls the right calls, sees the blitz coming, it's not going to be that bad. I mean, that college scheme is not going to work in the NFL. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep one guy on. I mean, one thing that that mentor did, which is the DC, he ran a lot of man coverage, just single man coverage, one safety high. If you do that against Davante or Jacoby, this might be another 62-point game. I'll put it that way.
All right, fair enough. Let's get into this little Davante Adams, the ongoing Davante Adams controversy. Before we play the video, Chris, you want to cue it up? Tee it up, I should say.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if a lot of people saw our guy Deshaun Jackson. He was on. I forgot even what show he was on, what interview it was, but he went out of his way to basically say he spoke to Davante Adams, and Davante told him that he's unhappy and he wants to get out of Vegas and he wants to go somewhere else. And to me, I thought that was weird when I first heard him say that. 'Cause one thing about Deshaun Jackson, I mean, he don't have the most credibility if you just listen to him talk. So when I heard it, I'm just like, that don't even sound like Davante. Davante seems like a guy that stays to himself. He's not going to be the type that tells his business. So today, Davante finally addressed that, and we'll listen to what he said.
The facts are the facts, and that is not a fact. I've probably spoken to Deshaun Jackson maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, and I never had a conversation with him ever, and I put that on my kids. I've never spoken to him about anything. The only person I really talk to about my feelings in general is my wife, probably, and she ain't out there leaking anything and dropping stuff like that in the media. So, once again, whatever you see, if it ain't from the horse's mouth, it's probably bullshit. So, I don't like that. I don't like when that happens, because at the end of the day, I don't really care, because it's, I live my life, and I've gotten to where I've gotten in life, in this game or whatever, just from not really paying too much attention to what people say and not feeding into it, not even responding, which is why you haven't really seen me come out and say, oh, this ain't true, that ain't true. I don't even want to give it attention, because it's already enough. The moment I open my mouth, it's all over everything. So, but I guess they got what they wanted this time. Whatever has been put out there lately is complete BS. I've never talked to Deshaun Jackson about one thing, so I don't know why. I didn't see the interview, so I don't even want to say, I don't know if that is a real quote that came out or how that played out. But in terms of me being upset or not being happy in this organization, it's just a bunch of BS that's just meant to throw everybody off and get, clickbait. Everybody want to see what Davante Adams got to say, and, he's pissed off in Vegas. If I was pissed off, I wouldn't be here right now. Like I said, back at my camp, when I want to think somebody here might interview me then. I don't do a lot of the extra stuff, and whatever you hear from my mouth is what you get. And I don't think that y'all stand in front of me getting the vibe that I want to leave this place. And if you do, then you're just feeding into the bullshit that they feeding y'all out there, and that's not reality. So that's what
Chris, yeah, I'll go ahead and let you respond to Davante's response to that.
I feel sorry for him, because I don't know what language he has to say it in that says that he's good here. He wants to make it work. He wants to be part of the solution. It's like the media and the fans, like they try to just make something that is not. Even when the receiver documentary came on, they showed footage of last season, and then when the documentary came out, they act like he just was slamming his helmet yesterday. Like, a lot of people were frustrated during that time with Josh McDaniels and all that stuff that was going on. But I feel bad that Tay even has to address it. You can tell he doesn't want to, but I'm glad he finally just kind of nipped it in the bud. Hopefully it's over, but I think Spice, about 3 months ago, we thought it was going to be over then, and 3 months later, we're still kind of talking about it. Not me. I know I am tired of talking about it. I can only imagine how he feels about it. And so it's just ridiculous. The guy wants to be here. He said if he didn't want to be here, the way his contract is set up, he definitely could get his way out of here whenever he wants, without a doubt. So trust me, if he wants to be out, he'll leave. But I think he's trying to make this work.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you on that aspect. You said he talked about it, he spoke on it, and he probably didn't even want to. And I agree with that statement, because you see him in his press conferences, you can tell there's a lot back there that he's not saying. He speaks very eloquently. He knows what to say, he knows what not to say, just out of respect for the game, for his position, for his team, for the league, for his family, for himself, or for whatever. So for him to actually speak out on this, it's so rare that it leads me to believe, not that I ever didn't believe it, but that this guy is just completely making up stuff, and he's just going in this narrative. I didn't hear the interview either. Like Davante said, I didn't hear it either. So I'm taking what you told me, Chris, to lead into it and to what Davante said. But like Mother Moon says right here, I love this quote from Davante: "If it ain't from the horse's mouth, it is bullshit." Straight up. And you almost never hear him talk that way, but I'm glad he did. And we're going into, really, this is the third season now we're going into this speculation, because it happened his first season when Derek Carr got basically cut and fired, right? It happened last season with the tumultuous outcome, and now it's happening this season, going into a questionable season at the quarterback position, which I think is what's leading to a lot of this discussion. And that's tiring. It's old. It's tiring. We're tired of hearing about it. And then one day, if Davante decides to retire or get traded, you're going to hear all the naysayers say, "I told you so." Well, can you really say "I told you so" when he stuck it through it for 3 seasons? Exactly. It's, he's going to get traded one day. You can that about almost every NFL player.
Anybody.
Almost everyone's play. There's very rare that a player plays for one team. So if Davante
Exactly.
ever decides to leave, it's not going to be an "I told you so" situation. So we can end that. He wants to be here. Same with the Gardner Minshew thing. You like him, you don't like him, you wanted AOC, you missed Derek Carr, whatever. Same thing. Let's just support our guys that are on the field and stop with this narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's and you're so right. Barely ever does anyone get drafted by a team and stay. I mean, I hate to be the one to burst a lot of people's bubble, but there's a good chance that Max Crosby is going to wear another jersey one day. And I know it's sick to our stomach, but I mean, if Peyton Manning can do that, if Tom Brady, if Joe Montana, I mean, Emmitt Smith, I mean, all the greats.
Right.
Like, I love Max. And to me, Max literally is a Raider. Like, he was born a Raider. But there may be a situation where Max might get tired of losing at some point, and he wants to get out, or maybe he wants too much money. Who knows?
So let's just talk about it, right? Because before we go to this, you mentioned the contract. Explain the contract a little bit of how if he was unhappy, he didn't have to be here.
Well, because the way his contract's set up is like next year, I think he is scheduled to make like $40 million, which is something. I mean, we're not going to pay him because I mean, you can't give a receiver that type of money. And I love Davante. So I mean, at the end of the day, the team will make I mean, it's not a guaranteed contract, so it's one of those things where they can say, hey, we're going to need to restructure. And Davante will be like, no, we're not going to restructure. And then he can force his way out. Or he could say, hey, I'll restructure. I still want to get that money, but we're just going to make it into a bonus or whatever else. So it's not going to hit the cap. But there's no way that Davante is going to be on our team next year making, I think, like 42 million hitting our cap. There's 0% chance.
So let me just touch on this, and I want to bring this comment up. Dominique 5, there's much love for you. Thank you for watching the show, but I'm going to really, really come at this comment because to me, this comment makes no sense. We got much love for you. Thank you for watching and continue to comment, but Davante can talk all he wants, but if we suck, he will be traded. Okay, guess what? I don't know who needs to hear this. We suck. And we've sucked for years, and he's not traded. Let's go back to 2022. 6-11, suck. Davante was on the team, not traded. Let's go back to 2023. 8-9, losing record, suck. Maybe not as much, but still suck. Davante was not traded. So how much more do the Raiders have to suck for this to be true? Because they already suck. And he's still here, and he still says he want to be here, and he be saying he want to be here since they've been sucking for the 2 years he's been on the team with 2 losing seasons.
Welcome to Spicy Shield Talking. It's extra spicy. We got spicy tonight. We're back, y'all.
So much love, Dominique, and we appreciate you, but this comment makes no sense because news alert, the Raiders have sucked, and he's still here. He still say he want to be here.
So, okay, I'll play devil's advocate. I love that take, though, Spicy. I absolutely love it. But I think I get what Dominique's saying because I think we have so many weapons this year, but I think this year it's going to make sense that if we do not live up to some of the expectations around trade time, it's probably going to be something to look at because if we start off bad this year, we just got to blow the whole thing up. Like, get rid of Davante, get rid of Colton Miller, get rid of anyone that has any kind of trade value, and just get draft picks and start it all the way over. So I think that's what
I 100% disagree because I'm tired of the inconsistency. Draft picks almost never work out. And I don't think you can blow it all up year after year after year after year after year.
No, I agree. I think, but what I'm saying is from a GM standpoint, because you got to think, we got a new GM. Just like anyone that gets a new job, they think they can do it better. So all the mistakes that we made under Al Davis and all those bad draft picks under Gruden, we got a new GM that in his mind he's going to be the one that fixes it. He's going to be the hero. That's the mindset. But no, I agree, and you have every right to feel like that. I understand just what Dominique was saying because I'm not gonna lie. As much as I love Tay, if we start off like 0-5, 0-6, I'm gonna look at it too. Like, but I'm gonna make sure I do right by Davante. Like, hey, what teams do you want to go to? I mean, kind of like how the Bears did with Justin Fields. Like, hey, you want to go to the Jets? All right, if we can come to an agreement, like I'll do right by them, and it's just a mutual thing. But because there's no reason to have if we're 0-5, there's no reason to keep someone like Davante. Well, we might as well get what we can. Like, hey, Davante, sorry we couldn't do it for you. We couldn't put you in the right situation. Here, you go to a team that can compete for a Super Bowl because we're cursed and we're nowhere near it. Let us get some draft picks and let's save money and shake hands and bow out gracefully. So I think so I get that, but you know, being a team that sucks and has this high $40 million receiver, there's no reason for it. And I'm the biggest Davante fan.
Well, in that aspect of the money aspect, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. Yeah, that's how I look. Like there's no other reason that I would want to get rid of Davante because I love his mindset. Like when I hear him talk, he talks different than anyone that's ever talked that played for the Raiders. Like he talks a way that I feel like Jerry Rice would have talked back in the day. Like we got a standard, and this is what it is. Like all this other stuff is unacceptable. Like I feel like for the longest time the Raiders were too complacent with just being decent and competing. Like no, decent and competing is not good enough. Like let's kick some ass and expect to get in the playoffs. And I feel like he has that mentality. Max hasn't had a chance to really sniff the playoffs yet, but he has that mentality. He wants to be there. And like Rambo said, yeah, Tay talks like Charles Woodson did. Absolutely. Like Woodson went to the Packers team and got him a Super Bowl ring, and he came back a whole different man.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's say what's up. We're going to wrap here pretty soon, but what I do want to say what's up. I think we have some new people in the building. Logic, Thought, Rules. I appreciate your name and your comment. They go hand in hand. No, Raiders don't suck. Y'all got a squad, but no quarterback, and y'all coach got to prove he can win in a full season. Well, this season, we don't know if they suck yet. TBD. In the last two seasons, to me, if we want to, I don't know how you want to use the word suck, but losing records equals suck to me. So that's where we were going with that. Thanks for watching. Huey P was good, and Jack Kenny in the building, of course. Spicy Chris and the nation salute. Brothers and sisters. Is it Roque Morin? We haven't sucked bad enough for a good pick. That's the problem. I mean, getting close. King Savage was good. I'm done with excuses. It's time to win, and it needs to start in LA this Sunday in our house, our home away from home. I will agree with that. DeMarcus Webb says, I got 44 million reasons why Davante Adams will not be here next year if we don't do well this year. And that could happen. That could definitely happen. Raiders Felon, if we finish under 500, Davante, he gone. It makes too much sense, and Telesco has no loyalty to Davante Adams. Raider 209, Chris, we're not complacent. We're just so used to being done wrong. Well, yes, and I think that's what, actually, I think it's a little bit of a contradiction because we are so used to being done wrong that we are complacent and we just go with it. To be honest, Benjamin, sup?
What up, Benjamin?
Sup? Remember, if you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button. Please subscribe to both channels. If you're watching on For Life Our Raider Story, pop over to Chris's channel, Protect the Shield, for a minute. Hit that like button. If you're watching on Protect the Shield, please to my channel, For Life Our Raiders Story, and hit that like button. Couple things. We're going to just do some announcements real quick before we get out of here. Chris, go for it.
Yeah, so everybody, make sure, especially you guys that's going to the game or that's in the LA area, man, make sure you come check out. We're having a big tailgate there in LA in the pink lot. And I'm actually doing it with some of Oakland's tailgaters. So there's going to be a big Oaktown. But you're gonna have Oakland DJ, gonna have a full bar, gonna be a lot of good food, a lot of music, good times, and anyone that's party with me, it's gonna be fun. You know what I'm saying? So no, don't judge me. Who knows what could happen. But make sure you guys come up, man, and I'm gonna be with the rest of my TRS brothers, the Raider Syndicate, my boy Leo, my boy Turf, my boy the Raider Rundown. So Leo, we're all gonna be there. It's our first time all kicking it together, man. So it's gonna be a good time, man. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk our talk. We're gonna drink our drink. We're gonna eat what we eat, and we're gonna have a good time in LA, man.
There you go. Turn up, blackout, SoFi. And if you're heading to the home opener and you have yet to get tickets, I have a raffle going right now for the home opener. That's week 3 in Las Vegas, of course, against the Carolina Panthers. Head over to Facebook, Spicy Raider Girl page. That's where the raffle is being held. Once it's full, we will have a live raffle here on For Life Our Raider Story YouTube channel. For watching the YouTube show right now, if you go there and you want to enter, there's a special deal for you and your support. It's only $10 per entry if you want to go ahead and enter that raffle. Get in. Tickets are obscene right now, so get in for $10. Try your luck and see if you can get those 2 tickets to the home opener here in Vegas.
Oh, I love it. $10 holla, can't beat it. And Mother Moon, don't tell all my secrets. Mother Moon, don't tell all my secrets now. They gotta be there. They gotta be there to know. They gotta be there to know.
That's right. You want to see it in person. All right, Chris, any final thoughts? Thank you for watching. By the way, this is our season 3 premiere. We had a lot more to talk about, but we are up on our time, so we're going to look forward to this game. Hopefully, the next time we talk to you, we'll be 1-0. Any last thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, man. Like I always say, man, just Raider Nation. Let's just support our team, man. Let's get behind our quarterback. I know sometimes we feel down in the dumps and we feel like a beaten dog, but it's week 1. Let's support the squad and let's build off of something. And thank you guys for coming, man, and spending time with us. This is one of my favorite shows with my girl Spicy. When you come to this show, you sometimes we want to talk our talk, and Spicy's gonna get spicy. So shout out to you guys. And make sure you guys definitely subscribe to both channels. So if you're on my channel right now, stop what you're doing and leave my channel, and then go check out her channel and go hit the subscribe button.
Salute from England. Thanks for watching. All right, everybody. If you're going to be out there this weekend in LA, remember, we're all Raiders fans. Don't be a jerk.
Only I can be a jerk.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a jerk. Let's all root for the Raiders and let's get this W. All right, Raider Nation, we go out one way and only one way. Raiders! Real quick, 3 things before we go. If you're out there in LA, if they tell you to sit down, stand up. If they tell you to stop yelling Raiders, yell it louder. And remember to show up in all black.